All right, Matt, our main event for UFC Singapore coming at us early morning Saturday. And listen, you've got Demian Maia fighting Ben Askren. And listen, without even getting too far into the fight, just to start, this is a weird one because Ben Askren had such a promotional push into his last two fights, the one against Robbie Lawler, the loss to Masvidal. That Masvidal fight was bigger than John Jones and Amanda Nunes on that card. And now they're putting him back in Singapore, which I understand because he's a big star there from his ONE Championship days, big champion. I get it. You want to market it to those fans. But this is weird.
It's very hard to judge Ben Askren's talent level based off his two fights in the UFC. We saw Robbie Lawler's inconsistent at this point in his career. We can all agree he's on the back nine. But Robbie Lawler picked him up, slammed him on his head, and probably should have got the finish. And in his other fight, Jorge Masvidal got either the luckiest or the most well-planned knee ever. So it's really hard to kind of judge how he's going to do against Demian Maia. Because if you look back in his career, all of his fights in ONE Championship weren't really against top-level welterweights. He fought a lot of lightweights moving up. He fought a lot of just people who didn't really belong in his division. So you have to go all the way back to the Bellator days to really get a good judgment as to how good Ben Askren is.
And that's not fair at all. I see a lot of people on social media saying, yeah, but he beat Douglas Lima and he beat Andre Korshkov.
12 years ago.
Andre Korshkov didn't train wrestling for that, so he said, and Douglas Lima's grown leaps and bounds. You'll see that prediction here on Fight Night Picks later on against McDonald. But Demian Maia, I mean, listen, he fought three of the best wrestlers in the UFC back to back to back. I mean, that's tough to do, coming off a title shot. Then he fight with Woodley. Then he fights Covington. Then he fights Usman. Loses all decisions badly. But he looked good against Lyman Good. And he looked pretty darn good against Anthony Rocco Martin.
The weird thing about Maia, though, is all those wrestlers had a striking advantage over him. So they could just prevent him from getting the takedown and beat him up on the feet. I think Maia can probably outstrike Ben Askren.
He's one of those grapplers that just throws straight hooks and he gets in there.
Straight lefts.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it works for him. So if we look at the odds, Matt, for this fight, they're relatively close, I guess. Askren minus 175 favorite, Maia plus 150. Who are you going with here?
All that being said, me pumping up Demian Maia's tires, I think Ben Askren's just going to be able to hold him a lot against the fence. Demian Maia's cardio is not phenomenal, so I think if he can just kind of hold him down and keep him there, not be really risky on the ground, Ben Askren by decision.
I'm going to pick Ben Askren by decision as well. Listen, if Maia gets it done, I could see it, but he's in that weird situation where he's already talked about, you know, his contract's dwindling down. He's thinking about retirement, and yeah, he's on a 2-fight win streak, but you're taking on Ben Askren that the UFC's invested a lot of time and money in. And yeah, you might not have heard a lot about this card, which is, you know, mainly the kind of stuff that we focus on, but it should be a decent one. It's going to be one of those ones that it's either going to be a grappler's wet dream or it's going to be the worst striking you've ever seen in your life, and you're going to want to shield your eyes. But listen, we're going to be here for all of it. We're also going to be here for 2-minute predictions for Bellator 231 and 232, Fight Night Picks on YouTube. Let's get into it.